What's going on, everybody? So this is the first story time that I've done in quite some time. I actually had meant to continue doing more story times. I wanted to try to do at least one per month, but life happens and I never got around to doing them. But I wanted to do this one in particular because this one is definitely fresh in my mind, and it's something that, of course, that I personally had to deal with, that I hated that happened involving myself. And y'all can already see by the thumbnail and by the title, y'all are probably like, what's going on? Taurean, is everything okay? And so on and so forth. But y'all are about to get the full story about what happened when someone tried to take my car. So this story actually goes back to January 26th. I think January 26th was around that time. I do know it was the last week of January. I'll say that if I can remember the exact date. Basically, just a regular day. I went to the gym as I usually do Monday through Wednesday. I believe it was a Monday morning, and I went to the gym very early in the morning because that's usually when my sessions are. Came back home, took a shower, rested and everything like that. But then I knew I had to go back out because I had to go to the Verizon store because I needed to get a new charger for my phone because the one that I had was dying on me. It wouldn't give my phone a full charge. I thought something was wrong with the battery of my phone, but I said, let me go ahead and try and test out the charge and see if that's what it is. So I was geared up, ready to go in order, to go out to the Verizon store in order to go and get a new charger for my phone. When all of a sudden I walked out the door and I looked at my car and I was like, wait a minute, the back window of the passenger side is busted out. And I was like, it blew my mind, and I'll insert the pictures in here somewhere. And I'm looking at it like, what the hell is going on? I was literally about to have a whole damn panic attack right there in broad daylight. And I'm looking around, I'm like the only one outside, and it's like freaking me out at that point. So I'm like literally like going through it right there, because that's not something that happens every single day. I go up, I look and see, sure enough, there's glass right there on the back seat. One of the things I looked for to see, was there like a brick or a rock that was thrown through the window? There was nothing there. So that means that whoever did it, they did use something, but it wasn't like a blunt object that they would have used to break the window, because they didn't leave it there. And then when I was looking through, I looked through and saw my front on the driver's side and saw the entire opening of the steering wheel was just like open. The airbag was gone, the wiring was dangling, and all types of stuff like that. Like literally, I'm sitting there like, what the hell is really going on right here? Now, mind you, where I stay at, I have a camera installed, to see if anything is there, but I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. And I'm like going through it. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So the first thing, of course, that I naturally do is I call 911. I just call 911 and say, look, so, to make a long story short, I just call them like, look, I came outside, my back window, my side on the passenger side was busted open. The glass is right there. I'm looking at the glass shards right there on the seat, and my front, the steering wheel is all messed up. I don't know what's really going on. So, they start asking me, the usual questions. What kind of car is it? What's the tag on it? What year is it? What model? All of that good stuff, so they can get a report of, what's going on and everything of that nature. So pretty much once I get off the phone with them, they said, okay, we'll give you a call back. Man, that was like the longest wait to get a call back ever. Like literally, I'm just sitting there pacing back and forth, like wondering who the hell was trying to take my car. At first, I didn't even realize they were trying to take the car. First, I think that they're just taking the airbag. But thankfully, luckily for me, well, let me not get ahead of myself. So I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is really going on? So I took, pictures of the car and everything like that. And if you follow me on Instagram, y'all would have seen those pictures, because that was the only place I posted them. If you do not follow me on Instagram, you would have never seen those pictures, because I did not post them anywhere else. So that means that everybody who is listening to this story right now, y'all had no idea for that 2 months ago, my car was broken into and someone was trying to steal my car. No idea, because I never brought it up until now. So y'all are getting wind of a story that occurred 2 months ago. And, you know, I purposefully did it that way because I didn't want to have a pity party and everything like that. But of course, everybody reached out to me to see if I was okay and everything like that. And I said, yeah, I'm good and whatnot. But at that point, it's like I kind of like trying to dodge all of that out. All I wanted to figure out was like who did it and why. So that goes back to the part with the camera. So when it came to the camera, apparently I didn't have the thing turned on where it could show the front of the yard, where opposed to the other camera that's in the back, that one is working. Otherwise it would have alerted me that somebody was outside. And the kind of car that I have, it's a vehicle that doesn't have a good alarm system attached to it, and I'm gonna go into that a little bit as well. So I would not have heard it go off. And mind you, I'm already in the house, so I would have heard something, but I didn't hear anything. I didn't get a notification or nothing like that. So to this day, I don't know who broke into my car, and that's very fortunate for them. Now, the lucky thing for me as far as my car goes is that my car has a kill switch on it, so they were not able to take the car, thankfully. I mean, I hate that my car was broken into and they tried to take it, but I'm glad that they were not able and successful to actually take the car, because then that would have been a whole nother monster I would have had to have dealt with. So fast forward a little bit. I'm just kind of jumping around a little bit here with the story, to get out from the boring empty spaces or empty pockets of the story. Like about an hour or so goes past, they call me back. They said they've already drawn up a report and all types of stuff like that, so I can give it to the insurance company. I end up having, to call the insurance company, and they basically walk me through the proper steps and procedures, and they pretty much say what most likely has happened. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to 911, they already had an idea of what had happened. In case y'all are unaware, there is this trend, or was a trend going on TikTok, where it was something called Kia Boys or something like that, where if you had a Hyundai or a Kia type of vehicle, they were able to find a way to hotwire the car using a couple of items that you can actually get in the store, one of them being a USB, and were able to hotwire it and take the car and drive off with it. But like I said, my car had a kill switch on it, so they were not successful. So the only thing that they took was the airbag. Luckily for me, I didn't have any valuable items, no wallet, no phone or anything like that in the car that they could have snooped around and tried to take. So they just took the airbag and they left, and that was pretty much it. And like I said, when you see the pictures, that's all that was there, was just dangling, sitting right there in the car. So the cops pretty much told me that's probably what it was. And then my insurance people, they pretty much said that was probably most likely what it was. And how ironic is because after that occurred, so many news articles and stuff started to pop up. I started looking on YouTube and Google, and they were explaining how they were actually able to do this. Some of you probably actually have heard of these individuals before, but in this area where I live at, it's very popular. It's very, very popular. And it's a lot of young people that are the ones that are tending to actually do it. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what that was. So if you have a Kia or a Hyundai, be sure to get yourself some kind of a alarm system. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the story when I get there. So I talked to the insurance people. They get the report and everything like that, because that's who they have to give it to. And then, they help me out a little bit. I take a trash bag and I have to tape a trash bag around the back of the window so nothing can get into it. Like, say if it rains, the seats won't get wet and messed up, or nothing will fly in there. So basically protecting the interior of the car. So basically my car I'm not using the car at that moment. So the insurance people, they help me out as far as when it comes to getting a rental. So I end up having to go to Enterprise that same day, and I end up getting myself a rental. And the insurance people pretty much took care of all of that and whatnot. So I was able to get a rental car, which luckily was a 2021, almost a 2021 version of the car that I have. So it pretty much the interior almost looked exactly the same. It was some slight differences, but I liked that I was able to get a rental that was similar to my car, so it wasn't too different from it. Now, mind you, I just got this car in November. I haven't even had it a whole 6 months yet, and already some ish is already occurring with my vehicle. But I was able to get the rental, and they basically said, okay, we'll let you hold on to the rental for 30 days. Okay, fine. I'm sitting here saying to myself, thankfully, hopefully my car will be back and ready in 30 days, because by this time I have the rental. Then I have to call a towing company so they can carry my car to a shop so it can get repaired. Again, if y'all don't have insurance, please get insurance. It's a good thing to have because it saves you a lot of money, and I do mean a lot of money when it comes to repairs. So I end up having the car be towed, and shockingly, the person who towed the car away was able to stick the key into the ignition and turn the car on, and the car actually was able to turn on and work. It wasn't completely it wasn't immobile, because it wasn't like they did anything to the engine, so they had to get it up on the ramp somehow. So they turned it on and drove it up onto the ramp, locked it down, and took it to the shop. So now my car is at the shop. I have the rental, and they kept my car at that shop for almost an entire month. So you're talking about from like January 27th until like 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago from me recording this video is when I got the car back. And what they were telling me is that when I called them, for an update to see, I call like maybe like once a week, because I didn't want to be like a pest or anything like that. Call like once a week. The first time it wasn't really nothing being done to the car. The second week I called, they said, okay, we've already fixed the steering wheel. We've already put everything back in, rewired everything and all of that. But we're still waiting on that back window, that back passenger side window. And they said the reason that is because there's so many back orders on windows, because so many cars have been broken into, probably under the same circumstances that mine has. So it's a lot of people who need a back passenger window to be fixed. And I'm like, so that was the holdup. Literally, that was the holdup. Otherwise, I probably would have got my car back in like a week or a week and a half. But it literally took a month just because of a window, of a back passenger window. So time is, winding down for me, to have the car. My 30 days is almost up. Now, the thing is, if I reach 30 days with this rental, then that means I have to pay like $250 almost like a day to keep the car. But unless I call the insurance company and say, can I get an extension to hold the rental car a little bit longer, because they still have my car. Luckily for me, that did not happen, because a couple weeks ago on Wednesday, I want to say February 15th, I believe that was a Wednesday, I called the people over at the shop, or they called me and said, Mr. So-and-so, your car is ready. You can come and pick it up. I'm sitting here like literally, it's like a sigh of relief. It's like the heavens opened up and the angels just sang their praises upon me. And I went, I immediately got in that rental, drove over there, signed whatever needed to be signed, paid the $250 deductible. Again, that's why it's good to have insurance. And I was able to get my car back. So now I got my car back, left the rental, drove back home. That Saturday, either that Saturday or that following Saturday, I went to a shop to go get a alarm installed. I got a very sensitive alarm installed. Plus, I got one of those wheel locks, those steering wheel locks that comes with an alarm system on it. So my car is double alarmed up. And let me tell you something right now. That $525 that I spent to get this alarm system installed on my car is probably the best $525 investment that I will have made all year, and it's still the first quarter of 2023. I don't know what other investments I'm going to be making this year, but that one right there is going to be the one for me. Definitely that I'm glad I was able to make a true investment into. And to quote the great Angela Bassett in Black Panther Wakanda Forever,
and wish the best of luck
if anyone tries to take the car this time. Well, that's going to conclude this story time. I hope y'all enjoyed this story. I mean, I don't know if it was something you should want to enjoy, considering the circumstances, but it is what it is. But with that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Be one, and I will talk to you in the next one.